package. Although I guess first, we are back from Glacier National Park. The Lost Coast episode is done. All of the road trip videos are done. I am done traveling for a little while. I need a break. But as I said, we have a package. This is from Dara. Let's find out what it is. What? I used to write comics professionally for quite a few years, but these days I spend most of my free time exploring the outdoors. That is cool. Oh, he wrote all of these. What? Wow, super cool. I feel like I've heard that name, Archibald Aardvark, before. Oh, and more Persian snacks? Man, when we had those last time, what was it? It was, that was good. I fully expect these to be good as well. Dara, thank you. So I still don't know if I actually had COVID or not, but let me show you something interesting. I got up to 56.5 on my VO2 max. Interestingly, right here, where it starts to dip, is when I tested positive for COVID. Now, granted, when I did test positive for COVID, it's not like I kept running every day, so maybe I just lost some of my step, but also, they could be related just beyond that. On that note, it's time to get the physical fitness back up. I love keeping things in good working order. There's something just really nice about having the correct thing. You're not compromising, you just got a good one and you take good care of it and it works out. Actually, one of our viewers named Mike sent us these sunglasses, his company Filtrate Eyewear. I actually Googled it recently and I can't find their website, so I'm not sure if they're still in business, but these have been fantastic sunglasses. I've had them for like 7 years now. I'm gonna hold on to these because they have been rock solid. On that note, I used to be much more of the opinion that you should just constantly prune everything that you have. And that if it's not really adding any value to your life, you should get rid of it. But if there is one thing I have learned from getting older, is that almost universally, everything increases in value over time. There are so many things that at the time, you don't really care that much about. But if you give it enough time, that thing is going to feel so invaluable. And I'm actually not just talking about physical objects. That extends to things like videos from your childhood. There's a video that Brian and Andrew's dad took of Brian and his sister, me and my brother, playing in the backyard when we were kids. I don't really think about it too much, but that video is so invaluable to me now. It is irreplaceable. I have it backed up in multiple spots, so don't worry, it'll probably not be lost. But at the time, like who cares? It's just a video of yourself as a kid, right? Like when I was 12. But now at 38, that video is only going to get more valuable every single day. And obviously not to everybody, but to me, it gets more and more valuable every single day. And everything is like that. If you'd put $1,000 in the bank a long time ago, right? If you had bought $1,000 in Apple stock a long time ago, right? Anyways, sort of similar to that note, let me show you something. Do you see this right here? This is F-Zero for the Super Nintendo. Running flawlessly. It is indistinguishable from a native Super Nintendo. But you know what it's running on? This. Maybe you remember when I talked about this thing when I first got it. This is the Analog Pocket. Ostensibly, it's meant to be a replacement for your Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. But they added the ability for people to write custom cores for it. And it took over a year for them to finally add the support for this, but as soon as they did, somebody added a Super Nintendo core for this. And now, this thing is realizing the potential that I have been waiting for since the day it was announced. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Game Boy, NES, Game Boy Advance, Game Gear, and probably a lot more. There's already arcade cores on here, and you might be thinking, okay, there's been emulation devices for years, who cares? The problem with emulation devices is that they're always software-based, and software-based emulation can be very, very good. But if you're a super nerd and just somebody with like vaguely OCD tendencies, you don't want like an emulation based on software where there can be latency and lag. You want the hardware emulation. I'm sure there are many people who will tell me that I'm wrong and software emulation is just as good, and you're probably right. But I think what's great about hardware emulation is also there's no settings to futz with. For the most part, like you can do some video filters, but it'll just run like the original hardware and you don't have to think about, am I getting the original experience? Am I getting the authentic experience? Obviously it's not totally authentic because it's on a handheld. You would never play a Super Nintendo on a handheld, but come on, man, that is fantastic. Oh man, I might have already missed the last gasp of summer. It's already cold.
and windy. You know, when you get older, it takes so much longer to recover from any type of injury or any type of workout. And I think you will lose your physical fitness much faster than you would as a younger person. That's kind of hard to know for sure because I also exercised a lot more when I was younger. So maybe that had more to do with it than just being older, but I definitely feel like a week without running and I will lose my physical fitness really quick.
Metroid is in captivity. Casey Neistat is making videos again. The galaxy is at peace. Okay, I think that'll do it for today's vlog. I actually managed to get a little work done today. Getting started on the episode is one of the hardest things, and then by the time it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're like, oh, do I really want to get started now? And I was like, yes, I do. And I did. We will come back at it tomorrow. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Okay, what is up everybody? We have a package here from one Mr. Daryl. If you have not seen the news, Japan is going to open up to individual tourists starting sometime in October. What that means is we are 100% going back to Japan next year. I'm going to shoot videos there as if I will never be able to go there again. After going there in 2019 and then the world promptly shutting down right after, I realized you cannot wait. Oh my goodness, Daryl. Daryl, what have you done? What have you done? Look at this. Oh, come on, man. The only thing he told me was that there's a package on its way. He didn't say exactly why he was sending all of this. That is beautiful. Holy cow, thank you, Daryl. These will be enjoyed so thoroughly. In fact, I'm probably gonna have to enjoy one tonight. In fact, should we have a ramen party? Instead of the fabled pizza party, should we have a ramen party? Come on!